If you've been after a premium hatchback over the last few years, you've been spoilt for choice, but Audi's A3 has stayed strong and popular during those times. This is the facelifted version of the third generation car, and it gets a fresh look, new technology, more kit and new engines. Now the A3 in numbers goes like this. There are 4 body styles to choose from: a 3-door hatchback, this 5-door Sportback, a 4-door saloon and a 2-door cabriolet. There are then 3 petrol and 3 diesel options to choose from, and 5 trim levels. On top of that, you've then got the sporting S3 and RS3 and the plug-in hybrid e-tron. Prices for the Sportback start at £20,985. However, we're testing the entry-level 1-litre petrol engine with a 6-speed manual gearbox in sport trim, and that costs £22,535. The A3 offers 380 litres of storage capacity with the back seats up. Now that's 20 more than a 1 Series, but 11 less than a Volvo V40. It's got a reasonably low lip and not too much of a threshold to step down into the boot floor. That boot floor is adjustable and can be lowered, or has some decent underfloor storage. In the side there's a little cubby area with a net and 2 bag hooks, but the bag hooks are set quite low, so when you get the bag in, it's not completely suspended off the ground, so that may not work that well. The back seats split and fold 60-40, and whilst the threshold through is flat, they don't truly lie flat themselves. In the back it's a bit tight to squeeze in, but once in, these seats are very comfortable and I've got plenty of headroom. Leg and knee room is average, as is foot room, but I'm in a tiered seating position here, so my view out is really good. It's never going to be claustrophobic. There's a door bin which is quite narrow to access, but deep if you can. A 12-volt socket between the seats, and then this little flip down panel with a high-vis jacket in it. There's no fold down armrest, and that's really about it in here. So what does the sport trim give you for a start? Well, it gives you sport seats, although these are the addition with the half leather, half Alcantara. You get dual zone climate control and a 7-inch MMI infotainment system that rises out of the dash rather neatly. This model's also got the 12.3-inch virtual cockpit, which is absolutely splendid, and you can rotate through your different views and settings, have full nav, have dials, infotainment, whatever you want. It's really truly excellent. In here the fit and finish is really very pleasant. It's a lovely place to be. The plastics are soft, there's leather where you want to touch. The trim infills are very pleasant as well. The round air vents and the toggle switches on the dash really do finish this off as a premium product, and these aluminium inserts come with the sport trim. Also, a lot of the dials have a little bit of brushed aluminium to finish them off. It just adds an element of class, and what I really like is the socket that looks like a switch. The drive select also comes part of the Sportback. What I would say though, you don't feel part of the cabin, you actually feel a little bit too high. So I'm in the lowest seating position, I feel like I'm sitting on it rather than in it. So you don't feel that encompassed like you do in a BMW 1 Series or a Volvo V40. In the lower seating position, however, I've got decent headroom. There's a pump lever to change that and a rotary dial for the backrest, and these seats are really sportive and very, very comfortable. The steering wheel has a lever down the side and has excellent reach and tilt adjustment, so most should be able to get comfortable in here. Practicality is not bad. There's a decent door bin, although it's a little bit restricted this end, but you can get a bottle in from a different angle. 2 cup holders in the front, an anti-slip tray ahead of that, and then the adjustable armrest, adjustable slide and tilt angle depending on what you want. Has a couple of USB ports, an auxiliary port below, and a mobile phone charger if you have that option. The glove box is reasonably well sized, and under the seats there's a little compartment with a high-vis jacket. Let's get this on the road and see what it's like to drive. The 999cc 3-cylinder petrol in this develops 114 brake horsepower and 148 pound-feet of torque. That'll get the little Audi from standstill to 62 miles an hour in 9.9 seconds. Now, on an official combined cycle, it'll return 60.1 miles to the gallon and emits 107 grams per kilometre of CO2. However, during our testing, we've done around 100 miles and only managed around the 40 mpg mark. Peak power arrives between 5,000 and 5,500 revs, and max torque between 2,000 and 3,500. And to get the best out of this engine, you do have to work it quite hard. Not that it becomes much more powerful as you go up the rev range, but it does need to be worked hard just to give you the best performance that you're after. If you want to overtake, you'll need to do a little bit of planning to make sure you're in the right gear to do so. However, the engine's performance is creamy and smooth and really rather satisfying. It's probably best for bumbling around town and taking it easy on country routes or on the motorway, and at motorway speed it'll sit at 2,500 revs quite happily. The 6-speed manual gearbox has got a precise action to it and feels really solid and mechanical, feels high quality. Has a medium weighted clutch which you can always feel trying to spring back against you, but it's not too heavy. Handling wise, there's a little bit of roll going into a corner if you're driving enthusiastically, so it will lean a little. However, it tries to stay as flat as it can and does a pretty good job at it. It does handle neatly, but is best suited to just cruising around. Impressively, the steering feels consistent the majority of the time, is well weighted. It's a little bit on the lighter side, so it makes just driving normally and around town a thing of ease. It does take a moment or two to turn in though if you are pushing on. As you reach that corner, you'll turn, wait a second, and then you'll probably just turn again. Use the drive select mode and go into dynamic, and it does become overly heavy. I'd probably avoid that. Ride's a bit of a mixed bag and really is road dependent. On the majority of roads, it's very smooth, it's compliant, and it's a comfortable place to be. However, if you get a road that's not particularly well maintained, it's got a lot of scarring or potholes and manhole covers in it, then it can feel quite firm. The A3 is very nicely damped indeed. If you hit a bump or crest in the road and the body goes up, it settles down very nicely. It's not too fast, it's not too slow, it just feels premium. Environment's pretty decent. There's a little bit of suspension noise over the harshest of bumps and a tad of wind noise as speeds rise, but nothing that really interferes and ruins your driving experience. In the A3, you feel as though you're sitting quite high, so to the front and to the sides you feel like you've got good visibility. However, the front pillars are quite thick, especially looking that way. The central pillars are fine, but the rear pillars are really quite chunky. And this model, you have to pay extra for the rear parking sensors. Well, the A3 is a quality all-rounder. It's a lovely premium compact, and it's well worth considering. The 1 litre engine doesn't feel entry level in any way. It's really silky smooth and very impressive. Thanks for watching. Check out the website for the full review, specifications and details on the A3 range. Do subscribe to our channel for free and let us know what you think of the Audi.